Pop quiz. Okay, so when you say your prayers over your food, do you understand why you are asking for God's blessing over your food? Like, if you grew up anything like me, you probably had the same generic prayer every time you ate. It may have went something along the lines of like, Lord, may you bless this food that is before me, bless the hands that prepared it, may it be delicious for my body, healthy for my soul, something along those lines, right? So we may bless our food in different ways, and we may have different reasons for blessing our food, and that's totally fine, do you. But I'll tell you what I do know. So during the biblical times, idol worship was like super heavy. And what was happening was at the marketplace, where there was an exchange of meat to goods and services, the meat that was being sold was being questioned, because a practice back then was that the pagans were sacrificing their food to their pagan gods. So there was division and debate because some of the Jews thought that it was considered unclean to be eating certain animals that came from pagans, because they thought that all meats were being sacrificed to pagan gods, in which most of them were. But it became a question of consciousness. It's kind of like they were going around the marketplace and asking like, hey, I see that you have this meat for sale. Before I buy this meat, before I eat it, I need to know what process it went through. Like, did you sacrifice this meat to your God? What did it go through when it died? Like, was it involved in any sexual immorality? Was it involved in some type of feast? Because back then, Jezebel was doing a lot of stuff, and one of the things that they had going on was like meat festivals, like love festivals, where they sacrifice. That's a different story. Anyway, so it became more of a debate of consciousness, like, hey, I need to know where this meat came from, what it went through, so that I can eat it with good conscience. Because if not, like, this meat is considered unclean, and I don't want to be seen as an abomination to God and receive condemnation. So in a nutshell, that's kind of what was happening back then. So Paul, who I really adore, because Paul, he's like a tough guy, but he has a really soft heart. I kind of read that in scripture. Anyway, so Paul did his best to try to like give comfort back then. And in 1 Corinthians 10:25, he said, eat anything sold in the meat market without raising question of conscience, for the earth is the Lord's and everything in it. And 27 says, if an unbeliever invites you to a meal and you want to eat, and you want to go, eat whatever is put before you without raising questions of conscience. So Paul was kind of like, hey, don't be asking too many questions. You know what I mean? If they present it before you, just eat it. Now, if they tell you that it was sacrificed to their God, then you politely refuse. But don't just go around asking it, because it becomes a division in consciousness. And the same thing still happens today. We see food. I've looked at chicken and I'm like, I don't know if that's chicken. You know what I mean? So it's like, in order for your food to be blessed, you need to ask for that sanctification over your food, because the truth is, you don't know whose hands it touched in the preparation. You don't know what process that food went through before it got to your plate, even in the stores. You know what I mean? Our food comes from markets and local farmers. We don't know the processes that food went through. We don't know if that food has been sacrificed to other gods or if it was involved in anything. So when you pray, we're asking for the food and the process of the food to be sanctified and to be cleansed, so that when you eat it with purity and with cleanliness. So when you pray, thank God, but also pray for that sanctification, because I'm just trying to tell you. Wait, come back. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Also, hit the notification bell so that you can receive updates on when new videos like these are posted. Okay, bye.